Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry heavyweight on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Chen Jacob Nagawkar. He is a highly accomplished professional with a diverse range of experience in compliance, IT consulting, and social service. With a strong educational background and a track record of success in various roles, Mr. Chen has consistently demonstrated his expertise and dedication. In his current role as Compliance Director at Chabad of India Trust, he is responsible for overseeing legal documentation, ensuring compliance with applicable laws, and providing updates and reports to the Board of the Trustees. He has also been a self-employed IT consultant since 2002, whereby he utilizes his expertise to assist clients with data analysis and project management. He is also an active participant in several society activities for Bene Israel community in India. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Mr. Chen.
Good morning, Sunny. Thank you so much for your kind words, and hearing so much about me from someone else is quite a unique feat for me.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Mr. Chen, our viewers would like to know that about your responsibilities at Chabad of India Trust as Compliance Director and the services you provide as a self-employed IT consultant. Also, how do you manage both the roles together?
Chabad of India Trust is part of a global organization called Chabad, which has got 6,000 centers all over the world. And it's a public registered trust in India, so with the CSR approval. As a compliance director, I have to fulfill various responsibilities. So when I look at the taxation and the finance related matters, I coordinate with the CA, the CS, other taxation professionals for whatever would be the monthly compliances like your GST, your TDS, professional tax, the yearly audits which are conducted. Since we come under the purview of CSR activities also, we need to provide the assessment report. So all that is provided by me to the external organization and to the professionals, so we can comply with it on a yearly basis. Since we are a public registered trust, we come under the regulations of Honorable Charity Commissioner. So whatever are the yearly requirements over there, which is in filing of your change reports and filing of your returns, all that is done by me. And the Honorable Charitable Commissioner also undertakes certain activities, because whenever there are these calamities which happens, whenever there are some other initiatives like a mass marriage which they have conducted, we coordinate with them. I mobilize our resources so we can fulfill those objectives also. So as a compliance director, besides all those various responsibility that comes up for your taxation, for your legal, I'll get into the legal part later. There is a unique thing about Chabad of India Trust, which is handled by me. As people are aware, there was an attack which happened on 26 November 2008 in Mumbai, and 6 sites were attacked, out of which one site was Nariman House. Now, Nariman House building is owned by Chabad of India Trust. So in this attack, 176 people were killed, of which 7 people, including one NSG commando, were killed in Nariman House. So when this attack happened, it happened on the 4th and 5th floor of our building. So we have resolved that this attack which has happened, we would be creating a museum, a memorial for the 2611 victims, so that they would be remembered And the message that we want to give from this unfortunate and tragic incident that happened is given to the people of Mumbai and to the people of world. So this particular project, which is there of making the museum and memorial, that is being undertaken by me in terms of all the regulatory compliances which are there. So 16, we had the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, visiting us. So at that point of time, we had inaugurated our memorial on the terrace. This is the only place in Mumbai where you'll have the name of all the 176 victims which are there. We have the other place where exactly the attack had happened between the commandos and the terrorists. There was a lot of firing. They in fact had to use an RPG to blast the wall so that they can kill the terrorists. Everything has been kept the same way because we want to create that as a museum. So the permissions which are required for making it as a museum from the MCGM, the corporation in Mumbai, from the fire department, I am the one who am getting all that permission. So this is quite a unique role that I play in this particular case. And since I'm given this platform, I just want to mention one thing, that even when this attack happened, the guiding light for us in this is that there is positivity in all people. Although there have been a lot of negative events which have happened, we believe that a principle that one ray of light can dispel much darkness, like a candle in a dark room is going to make the darkness go away, is the same that we want to inculcate in this memorial. So each person with a little positivity in the world will make this a better place. That is what we are trying to promote also through this memorial. So as a compliance director, there are different things that I do over here in Chabad of India Trust. But before I became a compliance director, I was already an IT consultant. So I did my engineering from Mumbai. I did my diploma in technology management from Latrobe University, Australia. Started my career in the multimedia field. In fact, used to do, that is the time around 2000 when all companies started having a lot of online presence. So there was a lot of demand for websites and flash animations. I used to even work as an animator for TV and film industry. We got into a business of doing multimedia, but I was more towards the analytical side always. So I progressed into data sciences, statistical analysis, and this is what I'm doing till date. So I, being as a consultant, allows me the flexibility that I am able to handle my work, my priority as an IT consultant, and even my work as a compliance director. And, besides these two things, the other thing I like to mention is, as you said, that I am involved a lot in social service activities. I am president of the All India Jewish Welfare Association. So social service activities is something I've been doing, you could say, from my engineering days and much before that. So it does become quite a thing of, how everything is handled. But the point that comes to my mind is that how I manage both roles is laid in my foundation of how I became an engineer. So I'm sure this will resonate with most of the people who have become engineers, that when you start to become an engineer, first time it's a shock that you see all the subjects which are there, you see the assessments, you see the vivas, you see how much has to be studied, and you start wondering how this is possible to be done. But slowly, once you start getting involved in that studying, slowly, once you get involved into how you become an engineer, that process of becoming an engineer trains you more in life. It helps you to understand how things can be done and how you work with other people together to get things done. So I in fact, remember in my engineering days, we used to have a lot of assignments. So we had shortlisted 1 or 2 students who were very good in studying, who were very good in assignments. So they used to be the one who used to prepare all the assignments, keep everything ready. And we were a bunch of people who used to wait for the day the assignment has to be submitted. And on that day, all of us used to sit in the class, one bench behind the other. Paper used to be passed of the person who has completed it, and we all used to complete an assignment. So, it was like a teamwork that we need to get this done. We need to fulfill it by a particular deadline. We'll get it done. We were never stressed about it, about how things were there. We had always used to manage our time in a very particular manner. So that things that we did in engineering has helped me to reach the stage where you don't fear failure also. When you don't fear that failure, when that thing is out of your mind, you can concentrate on what you want to do. You can concentrate on what better can be done. You start talking and collaborating with other people that we have a common objective. Let's work on it together. Other people come up with their idea. So the best thing that helps me to manage my role is my ability to listen, work with the other people, connect with them so that we can get things done. And when there is some problem, we tackle it together as a team. Yeah. So that helps me to get a lot of this work done. And it's going good. I'm able to manage things with what's happening, and it's going well till now.
Okay, that's an excellent start to this interview. Moving ahead, our viewers would like to know, Mr. Ken, you are an engineer, but also handle legal issues, right? So among many other facets of business. So what does it take for someone to be so multi-skilled?
The one line answer to this will be that learn from life. Life is the greatest teacher. And to elaborate on that, as I mentioned that during my engineering also, I used to be quite involved in social service activities. So it used to be a lot of work, that different roles that I used to play in, as a volunteer. It was with institute which was run by Milind Soman's sister, which was for the differently able children. So we used to stand at the stall in Kalagoda, Mumbai. There's that fair which is there, Kalagoda Fair, which is very famous. So we had a stall over there. We used to sell the products made by these children the whole day. I was involved with other organizations. So it used to be into accounts because I was interested in facts and figures. I used to sit with the accounts team to understand how accounts are prepared, what works, what doesn't work. That time, Google was not so famous. In fact, I think Google was not there also. But it was reading from the books, interacting with those professionals, asking them questions, because I was never afraid to ask questions. I never had that of how I will be projected, how I will look if I don't know the answers, if I ask a stupid question. I was more interested. I have a passion to learn. Let me learn. Doesn't need to be from my field. It can be from anything. So I used to learn about accounts from them, more of, the ground training which happened. And fortunately or unfortunately, at that time, it may have seemed unfortunate. One had a lot of legal cases which are going on. So me being a student and, seeing all these cases, I used to wonder how it will happen. What is the outcome? How do we make sure the outcome is in the favor of the organization? So I started interacting with the lawyers. I started sitting in the meetings with them, started understanding how it's being projected, how important communication is to put across your point. And then I saw that I have a knack for this legal cases also. I started preparing answers for the lawyers, started giving them a brief on behalf of the organization. In some cases, I took the initiative and started preparing my own answers, affidavits, which has to be submitted in the court. And there were instances during those cases because there were more than 40 cases which were happening. So you could actually pick and choose at the end of it that, fine, let me try. I know that if I fail, it's not going to affect the outcome too much. Let me try in those cases. So in the Bombay High Court, there were some cases going on. And I said, let me represent the trust in that matter. I had the good fortune of having Honorable Justice R.M. Sawant, Honorable Justice Kathawala, in front of whom I could represent the case. Initially, of course, butterflies in the stomach because you're standing in the court with everybody who are like lawyers, big counsels, and you have to speak. But then the way Justice Sawant, Justice Kathawala looks and treats at you and, makes the environment so comfortable that I could present the case, and that confidence build up that, yes, I am able to do things. I am not restricted by my capabilities or my thoughts. I can do it. And fortunately, by grace of God, we won those cases. So that built up the confidence. So it's just things like these which helped me that till date in Charity Commissioner, when we have to file all the cases and everything, now I only do it by default. So it's just in the Charity Commissioner, whatever is there, I go forward, I put it. So these cross skills which developed were at one point of time because of my passion, at some point of time because of the necessity that we need to do it. But most importantly, it was that I am not going to be stopped by these boundaries. Let me see what happens. Let me see what is the worst case scenario which happens. And let me work it out and see what best can be done, because we have people around you. In one way, I could say I have the humility. That humility has played a big part for me. of understanding, learning from people, knowing what best can be done. And that has helped me to hone the skills. And the other thing is always, life is too short to make all the mistakes. So learn from the ones who have already done the mistakes so I don't make the same one and we can go forward. So that has definitely helped me in all this thing. Being open to listening from all these professionals, not being afraid to fail, and definitely putting my best forward, giving my best. That has helped me to be cross-skilled.
So building on that, our viewers would like to know, Mr. Ken, that what has been the biggest motivation in your professional journey?
Biggest motivation in my professional journey, when I think of this question, there's only one thing that always comes to my mind. Of course, there are a lot of other motivations which are there. There are a lot of motivators who are around me. But the biggest motivation, when you ask me this way, there's a saying in Hebrew. Hebrew is a language for the Jews. So there's a saying in Hebrew. I'll first say the saying in Hebrew and then I'll translate it into English. So the saying in Hebrew says that Im ata lo over al yekulteka, ata lo otse tzedek leatzmeka. So it means in English is, if you don't exceed your capabilities, you're not doing justice to yourself. So this particular sentence, which is that if you don't exceed your capabilities, you are not doing justice to yourself, is what keeps repeating in my mind. That what are my capabilities? Is this my capability or is this something further I can do with it? So you could say that that line has always been the biggest motivator for me. That let me try something. So even when I tried something in accounts, even when I tried in legal, this is a sentence that pushes me forward. That let me see if this is my capability, I can do it. And unless I try it and I give it my best, how will I come to know what is happening? So that particular sentence is what has been the driving force for me till now, to try out new things, to do something. So it becomes kind of a self-appraisal, We all have appraisals which keeps happening in the company, annual and half annual. So this is an appraisal that I do with myself. That have I exceeded my capability? Am I doing justice to myself? Because if I have to give a different twist or a different outlook to this particular thing, we keep having appraisals with our bosses, with other people around us. It could be a social appraisal from a community, from a family. It could be from work. But the final appraisal is what's going to come up from God. Because when we all are made by God, and when God will be, taking our appraisal, that have you done what I've sent you for? Have you fulfilled your capability? I should be in a way to answer that, yes, I have done to the best of my capability. So that's the ultimate appraisal that I'm looking at, that keeps pushing me. Let me try doing something. And other motivators that help me to keep doing it, if I may permit to take 5 to 6 more minutes of your time, there are quite a lot of other motivators which happens. Started with my family, my parents, which are there. My father was in the war, he was injured. But he was always a strong person in the sense that let's try something, keeps doing different things. My mother, the way she is taken care of us, and the way she is educated, she was in fact a model. But then times for us were difficult when we were small. But she was never afraid to work. She's even done the work of what is called as a tool and die maker, where the male is the one who performs and uses the lathe machine. It's quite heavy. But she's done that kind of work also, because when it was required, but it was with dignity. So that motivated me that no work is too small. We can do it with dignity and we can go ahead and do it. My sisters who are there, Susan, Karen. So both of them also, we all have done a lot in our life. And we have a unique tradition in our family that if you want to get married, you work, you earn the money and you get married with your own money. You buy a house with your own money. So, that was always the push that we have. That fine, we have a house. We had a whole floor to ourselves, but no, you do it from yourself. And that's how I'd seen it when my sister Susan and Karen were doing it. Susan today, in fact, manages between countries. She is doing her work. She's doing a family. She's doing it so well. Karen is doing well in Israel. She's in Israel now. She's a logistics manager. She is managing it. But when she was here and handling her children, her preschool, she was doing it so well. So there were always people around me when I see they are married to, their husbands are doing so well. Suzanne's husband, Romil, runs a very successful interior design company in India. He's almost traveling all the time in India. Karen's husband, Jerome, is traveling all over the world. He's in telecoms. He was in pharma, always one of the most successful achiever. So there were always people that we could look on. When I got married, my wife, Sylvia, teacher for the last 23 years, and handling children, I'll say, is very difficult. At one time, you will be able to handle colleagues, but handling children, their parents, very difficult. She's doing it so successfully. Now she runs her own school because, that's the demand that she has. She's running her own preschool. My mother-in-law also, if I may say, she has her own parlors. She does cooking. She runs a family. But you see her, she's so busy even at this age, not that age also, I don't want to make her sound too old. She's only around 60. But you see her passion to work. She manages the parlor. She manages the house. Her food is very famous in our community. In fact, I remember my marriage was an arranged marriage. So when we had gone, we had a program where we see the boy, the girl. I remember the vadas which she had made. That was more famous. 18 years after marriage also, I remember the vadas, the biryanis that she cooked. But then I wonder when she gets the time. Sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, she'll get up to prepare the food for the catering, because then later on she's busy with the parlor. So you have people around you. And Chabad of India Trust, because it's a worldwide organization, the ones who run it, Rabbi Israel, Khaya, his wife, Rabbi Hayem Uri, his wife Mushki, busy. 24 hours for them also is not going to be enough, because even at 2 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock in the night, whatever work they're doing, it's amazing. You are filled with such positive people. You see the way they're working. Recently, Mushki was pregnant, 9 months pregnant. But even in the 9 months of pregnant, they are a school which she runs also, she and Kaya. She was in that annual program, dancing, moving around, and we were wondering how in the 9 months she could do it. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Baruch Hashem, she has delivered a baby boy now. Normal delivery, in fact. So it's like Kaya, Mushki, you see all these people and you start wondering that, why should I be limiting to myself that I'm tired now? And you have such positive people around you that keeps motivating you, that there's a lot of things which happen. And of course, books, movies, you see all those things that always keeps you more positive. That's it. But for me, the biggest motivation always is that saying that if you don't exceed your capabilities, you're not doing justice to yourself.
Rightly said, Mr. Ken. Okay, moving ahead. As you handle several social activities, is there any particular accomplishment you would like to share with our viewers today?
There have been several accomplishments that we keep doing by grace of God, looking after 40 Jewish families who are underprivileged. They are from the villages also. They are from Mumbai, Thane, which are there. The biggest accomplishment, but which I will be looking at, is that we are finally getting a dream of an old age home into existence, into reality. There have been my cousin, who's a Hazel Simon. He's also very active in all these things. He has helped me a lot in these matters. So there is the old age home that we are now building for our senior citizens. And we are building the old age home in the way we want. That the ones who come over there won't look at it as an old age home. They will look at it as a place where they can live with dignity. So in Alibag, which is on the outskirts of Mumbai, which is more like a weekend home for a lot of people, we have bought one wing right now. We are undergoing the registration process soon. So that particular complex, it has got the amphitheater, it has got the clubhouse, it's got the swimming pool. The rooms which are there, they're quite big. They open up to the open countryside. Those places is what we loved. It was something that where we would stay on a weekend, that kind of a place. So that is the place that we are now building as an old age home for our seniors, so that they can live with that respect. That till there is not like their expiry date or their use by date is over. They can continue to be there, share their experiences with us, with the people. And that is one of the biggest accomplishments for me. The other accomplishment, once it happens, where Be'ezrat Hashem, would be the museum once it's started for the 2611, because that is our tribute to Mumbai also. So once that is completed, I would rate that higher to the old age home that I do. But as on date is the old age home that we are building.
Great. Okay, so as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table for the corporate world?
See, for the corporate world, when we look at the ESG and the governance principle, The first and foremost value which I think I bring is a stakeholder engagement. So the engagement that I have with the employees, with the communities that we are working with, the collaboration that I do with them to foster positive relationship, that is the most important value I bring, because that kind of a communication helps us to grow, to become better, which is there. There is diversity and inclusion in our workplace also. So when I'm working over there, I do recognize that diverse people would be working. So we try to maintain that, try to eliminate any bias which is there, and include all cultures so that we can all work together. Risk management, of course, plays a very important part. So whatever is the risk management in terms of ESG, I assess that. I try to see how it will impact our reputation, our performance, which is there, and I try to address it accordingly, what is there. The reporting and transparency is totally my responsibility. So I ensure that we comply with all the governance, with all the values, so that reporting and transparency is a big role I play. Ethical business practice is not so much of a problem because it's inculcated such a way in this that I don't need to do much in ethical business practice, but it's just when we are working with different companies, with different vendors, at times I may just need to mention it so that they are aware on what platform we stand in all this ethical business practices. And regulatory compliances is part of the reporting and transparency. And currently, although BRSR is not compulsory for us, we have not one of the top 1000 listed company, but I'm preparing for that also, the business responsibility and sustainability reporting, so that we are prepared for the future in terms of that. So stakeholder management, ethical standard business reporting, which is there, transparency, the regulatory compliances. These are the different values that I bring in this workplace and the corporate world.
So my next comes from your domain. As someone working closely with technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen with changes in technology? And what changes do you expect to see with the advent of technology like IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, etc.?
I got involved with technology almost 25 years back. So at that point of time, it was a completely different world. If you need to get internet, it was not as simple as fast as what it was. Previously, you had to get it through a telephone line, you had a modem, you needed to have a lot of patience to get connected. You could get disconnected if a phone call comes because it's the same line using that. And you need something to be downloaded, you really had to wait. Sometimes you have to wait all nights. I'm not talking only about general stuff. It could be your basic website also, which you needed to do. So starting from that place where technology at that point of time was more of a patience that you could get things done, till today, they've seen a lot of changes. But the main changes that I see is that the connectivity and the communication. So this has transformed because of the way the technology has today. Today, we have access to all information on our fingertips. Everybody can interact and communicate with each other through various digital platforms instantly. That has really been one of the major changes that I've seen. The automation and efficiency, which this technology has brought in various sectors, whether it's healthcare, whether it's automotive, with the way things are now getting performed, has changed drastically because of this technology which is there. The artificial learning, machine learning, which has come up. Chat GPT is one which has become very popular now, which has become very useful. It's like become a day-to-day part of our life. So those technology, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, which is used, is really making a lot of difference in all life, which is there. You look at the Internet of Things. Previously, no one will have thought that you'll have these wearables, computers and everything, which you could wear it as a t-shirt, as your watch, to make things happen. To the extent that, your watch could tell you if you're getting a heart attack before you come to know, connect you to a doctor. So there are a lot of things which Internet of Things have evolved. Blockchain, although cryptocurrency is the most famous use of the blockchain, it really can make a lot of difference in your voting systems, in your healthcare, because the transparency that the blockchain brings is a lot. So those things, and recently is even the Web 3.0. So that Web 3.0 is creating a decentralized, a user-centric experience. So the way the changes the technology has done is it's put in the hands of even common people, even in the hands of people who never had access to these things, to transform their ideas into reality. And that is what I see is the biggest change. That today, when people dream, they've got the resources to make their dreams a reality. They have access to worldwide support, help, a platform to make those things happen. That is a kind of amazing changes that the technology has happened. And when you look at the future, some things that comes to my mind is the way Internet of Things and artificial intelligence integrated together. That will help to give a lot of quick thinking, a lot of predictive analysis of how it's happening, personalized experiences that we all are already experiencing in the way it's being given to us. The way data is read now, it's enhanced. The data, the what you can assimilate and what you can get from the data is to the extent that at times they may know you better than you yourself. So that enhanced data analytics no doubt will keep on increasing because of what's is there. As I mentioned, blockchain, when you have expanded blockchain applications which are there, that is going to change the way transparency is happening in the finance world also. People will have a lot more trust in the systems, that it's not easy to manipulate. It's providing you a transparent, trustworthy system which is there. The quantum computing, which is that advancement in the quantum computing, those things will help to create, make it easier to have a lot more complex calculations which are happening. It will change a lot of things in cryptography, in healthcare, which is there. But one thing which we always need to keep in mind, that is technology. And with technology, there is a dark side that your privacy, your security also may get affected. So we have to use it in a prudent manner. We have to use it in the simplest way of putting it is by not keeping our common sense aside, so that we don't become a slave to it. We continue to be a master to it and help it to improve our life, which is that.
Okay, that was so insightful of you. So, Mr. Ken, we are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of WDC?
Well, first of all, thank you to World Development Corporation for giving me this platform today, so I could give my thoughts and my 2 pennies on what I think about all these things which are there. And this initiative which has been taken, by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, entire World Development Corporation, that has brought together individuals with diverse expertise and experiences. And this community that has a potential to facilitate the performance and learning and problem solving. So to give this kind of a platform to different individuals is commendable. And to make sure that this platform is sustainable and growing is a bigger achievement for the World Development Corporation. Because on this platform, we can have our network, we have mentorship. We have Mr. Jayamurthy Sudarshan. I've been listening to his talks. I've been having his. So the kind of information he shares, if I have to sit over months, I get that within hours from him. So that kind of platform where we get connected to mentors to enhance our skill, put forward our thoughts, interact with other individuals who are on our level is truly a great achievement. And this strong commitment, which I see from World Development Corporation to foster knowledge sharing within the industry and to create this kind of a welcoming environment that encourages me, and I'm sure even other people, to participate is noteworthy. I wish you all the best to keep expanding this platform and making a lot more people come onto this to share our ideas.
Great. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Ken, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you so much, Sani. You have a great day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.